just going to do a few reminder problems. Keep us in line here. Start with, what's a good one to start with? Like this one. Awesome. What? If you have two negatives, what does it become? Positive. And please take the time to write it out. You'll notice on the directions it does say write on a separate piece of paper. Which the back is okay if there's, but I want you to rewrite the problem, show the algebra, and get the answer. So, next. So next, show the algebra. Remember this part? That's what you're really largely graded on.
Do you want us to put the algebra on the paper?
Just like this on the back side or another piece of paper. So this is largely what you're graded on in algebra class. Remember, you're not in junior high, A, B, C, D, multiple choice, just what's the answer, and we don't care about anything else. You have to show everything and prove it, not just say, I know what it is, and forget everything else. Remember, we're heading for these very large equations, which this whole, I just do it in my head. Nobody can just do these equations in your head, the ones we're heading for. So we're practicing on the easier ones, so when we get to that stuff, you're able to do it no problem. But if you kind of skip it now, you know, you might end up finding it's going to be a lot of work later on to catch up. Okay, so that's the part I just need to see, the algebra, and then of course the x equals, find your answer, and as usual, circle across the answer. Okay, so another one, so that has two negatives. Some of these funky things are actual negatives if they're not like in the middle like usual, so but just know that these are negatives. That's a negative, that's a negative. Let's look at one with a fraction coefficient. That's something we just did recently. Reminder that fraction coefficient. You just want to multiply by the reciprocal. So if you have negative 1 over 5, multiply by 5 over negative 1, both sides. And remember, multiply the tops, divide by the bottom. So it's negative 20 times 5 divided by negative 1. And these cancel out, negative 1, negative 1, positive 5, positive 5. So you have y equals, and since it's a negative divided by a negative, we know it's going to be positive something. And then lastly, I think there's a problem on here like that. There's a couple of them. So reminder, like on letter K, the third one down on the left. What if it's not a fraction? So like this, above it was 1/5 y, so it's easy, 5 over 1. But what if it's v over 3? There's no fraction there. Just remember that that's a 1, so it's really 1 over 1/3 times v. And then the reciprocal would be 3 over 1. And again, this is the algebra. Right? This is algebra. What you're doing to both sides to get the answer, whether it's adding, subtracting, or multiplying, that's a must in algebra class and basically any math class you ever take after this. And do not leave it off. Don't. It's simple for most people. They know that's what it is. They just don't want to write it for some reason, even, you know, after being told how important it is to have that. So if it's that simple and it's that easy, always put it in. You know, it doesn't make sense for you to say, well, it's easy, I can do it in my head, and then you're not getting full credit because you don't want to write it down when it's so easy. So if it's so easy, just write everything down. You usually can't write too much. And if you have to stop and ask, do I have to, you know, fill in the blank? You probably just should, you know. It usually takes longer to stop and ask the question than if you just did it anyway. Okay, so other than that, I'll let you guys work for the rest of the period. Remember, it's a short period, and you want to get, if you get this done, you can turn it into me. You can work on mastery challenges on Khan Academy. Remember the mastery challenges, if you go ahead on those, you might end up doing things we'll end up doing in the future, and when I go to assign a certain actual task, it might already say you're done with it, because you've already done the mastery challenge for it and show you understand it. So instead of having to do 10 in a row on something, you might be exempt and just get a full credit automatically because you go ahead. So if you do those mastery challenges, it actually helps you because you're learning at your own pace, and you're actually probably doing future assignments at the same time. Okay? You won't know until they pop up when I say, all right, go to Khan Academy at assignment, and if it doesn't show up on your screen recommended by, that means you've already done it. Okay? You just did it in the past at some point. So, and don't forget, you can also download the phone app, the Khan Academy app, and do this all on your phone. So this doesn't have to be just when you come here. If you want to just work on that stuff as you go along on your phone, you can actually get through a lot of the assignments really quickly just by doing a little bit at a time. All right, so let's go to it.